Hello everyone, I'm here today to show everyone how to install one of our HydroTKO dry cell units. We're going to install it today into a 2000 Dodge Neon, and I'm going to go through step by step the procedures of installing the unit in your car. We're going to go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to mount the dry cell unit. Typically the best place for this unit is in between the grill and the radiator. That's where it's designed to fit. This particular car doesn't have a whole lot of room, but there's enough room down in there to install the unit in. Probably gonna have it right in here. There's about 4 or 5 inches in here. I think we can get it in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and install the unit down in here. We'll put the mounting brackets on here. They'll hang up from these bolts here, and then we'll have the unit installed down in the grill, and we'll mount it, the brackets, right to this area in here. We'll just screw them on. Seems to be the easiest. And I'm going to go ahead and start that, and we'll get right back. Okay, the mounting brackets are installed behind the bolts of the dry cell, and they're made to go on the back side of it because of this right here is your positive or negative power lead here that goes all the way through. So you have to cut a little notch out of your bracket. You want to make sure that that does not touch. I've installed this one right here, and I'm going to take the bolts out and install the other one here on the other side. Okay, we now have the unit mounted. When mounting this, you want to pay close attention that where you connect the power is not anywhere near contact with any other metal. If you have to, you can put a cover over this, a nylon cover, to protect, to insulate this from coming in contact with the body. But yeah, we've got it mounted in here, and our straps come up to the top here, right there. And gonna have to leave them loose for now until we get all the wiring and hoses hooked up, and then we'll go ahead and put a couple screws in there to secure it. Next, we're going to move on to mounting the reservoir. The reservoir can be mounted anywhere in the engine compartment as long as it's sitting above. Has to be sitting above where the dry cell is mounted. So it has to go uphill and be mounted uphill from the dry cell itself. So I'm going to go ahead and mount the reservoir. I think we're going to mount it right in there, and we'll go from there. Okay, we've got the reservoir mounted in here now. Make sure you secure it so that it doesn't wobble around, and make sure it's not touching the engine, because the engine moves on its motor mounts, and it could wear a hole under the side of the reservoir. You can use the mounting points that are on the reservoir itself, or any fashion or way that you want to mount this is fine, just as long as it's above the generator itself. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and install the hoses on this, and we'll go from there. Okay, we've put the hoses on here onto the reservoir, and I've left the reservoir loose too, just like the generator, so that I can get at it while I'm trying to install the lines. I'll run the lines through here. I'm going to go down, here's our 2 lines here, run it down around the radiator support and down to the generator. And now I'm going to go ahead and hook those up to the generator. The top barb fitting on the generator goes to the side discharge of your reservoir, and the bottom fitting on the dry cell goes to that hose goes to the bottom of the reservoir, the barb fitting coming into the bottom of the reservoir. Okay, one last note on the hoses. The clamps. You must use the clamps. There's 4 clamps provided. Failure to use the clamps will eventually cause a leak. And your electrolyte's going to leak out everywhere. So please use the clamps. The 4 clamps go on the hoses to the reservoir and to the dry cell itself.
You have to lose
and
something.
it's very important to use the clamps. Okay, we're going to go into the electrical portion of this install. I want to stress to everyone how important it is to have a good connection. Without a good connection, pulling so much amperage, your terminals they'll start to get hot, and you can actually have a bad enough connection to where these terminals will actually get so hot that they'll start to melt the PVC end caps on the hydrogen generator. So what I like to do is I like to solder all my connections, and I'm going to show you how to correctly solder one of these to the end of the wire. If you don't have any way to solder this, maybe get some help from a friend, or if you have to, go ahead and crimp these on and just monitor the connection for a while. Make sure it doesn't get hot. And if it does start to get hot and you have a crimp connection, go ahead and find a way to get it soldered on. So I'm going to show everyone how to solder one of these on. Okay, what you're going to need is you're going to need some solder. This is regular plumber solder. Pick it up at any plumbing store or home improvement store. Next, what we've got here is it's called flux, and this helps the solder to flow onto the copper wire. You can get this also at home improvement store, plumbing store. Okay, what we want to do first is we like to take these ends off of them. So all I do is heat it up with the torch and pull that end off.